Before you dive into this message, know this. You didn't find this video. This video found you. If what you hear here touches your spirit, it's because this call is for you. So subscribe to the Chosen Signal now, turn on notifications, and share this word with someone who also feels like they've been silently prepared for something great. You're not here by chance. You've been called. From the moment you took your first breath, an invisible mark was placed upon your life. It was no ordinary mark. It was a secret summons, a silent call that throbbed within you even when the world tried to silence it. You grew up carrying an indescribable sense of difference, a sense that your spirit was older, wiser, heavier than your age could explain. Every look of incomprehension, every painful rejection, every silent tear was actually part of a divine orchestra shaping you for this very moment. You were not forgotten. You were hidden by the hand of God as He shaped you away from the eyes of men. Today, the curtain begins to lift. Today, the secret message finally reaches you. There were days when you wondered if something was wrong with yourself. Why did you always seem to be the odd one out, the one who saw too much, felt too much, dreamed too much? The world tried to convince you that this was weakness, but today the kingdom reveals it was a sign of your lineage. Every pain you carried was a spiritual password, releasing codes that only the chosen ones could decipher. Every loss was an invisible sculpture, peeling away layers that did not belong to your true identity. Those nights when you cried alone, those were moments when heaven registered your faithfulness in continuing, even without understanding the reason for such a barren road. Your soul was trained in the invisible arenas to bear weights that would break others. What seemed to be your disadvantage was, in reality, your secret training. While the world applauded others, you walked in silence. While doors opened for many, yours seemed to close without explanation, and yet a spark never died within you. That was the sign. You walked not in man's time, but in God's time. The preparation of the chosen does not happen in the spotlight. It happens in solitude, in silence, in the secret polishing of the soul. God did not want you to be just another one. He wanted you to be unrecognizable until the right moment. The glory He has prepared for you demands a deep foundation, strong enough to withstand the abundance that is about to be released. Today, that hidden preparation is activated in light. The first key God releases in this transmission is simple but powerful, recognizing who you really are. It's not about becoming something, it's about remembering. You're not awakening, you're returning to your true identity. The time for believing the lies of abandonment is over. You are heir to promises that were written before the foundation of the world. You are the answer to prayers made by generations that came before. The call that echoes in your spirit now is the divine signature confirming it's time to walk in all that has been prepared for you. And know this recognition is not vanity, it is obedience. When you recognize who you are, heaven is allowed to release what is in store for you. Within you is a hidden map, a plan drawn up before you even took your first breath. You carried this map with every choice, every inexplicable intuition, every dream that seemed bigger than your reality would allow. You thought they were just feelings, just daydreams, but now the Spirit reveals they were silent instructions designed to guide you to this point. No rejection, no failure, no delay has erased this map. It has survived because it was written in eternal ink. Now, like someone lighting a lamp in the darkness, God begins to activate this map within you. One by one, the hidden paths begin to reveal themselves. Do not be afraid to follow the trails that the Spirit shows. You are not lost. You are being guided to your promised land. How many times have you cursed the silence? How many times have you prayed for answers and received the echo of waiting instead? Heaven answers now. Silence was not punishment. It was protection. Had you received what you asked for before its time, you would have been destroyed by the blessing. God was shaping not only your circumstances, but most importantly, your character. He didn't want you to just touch His promises. He wanted you to be able to sustain them, to inhabit them, to multiply them. Silence was the shield that kept you hidden from the eyes of the enemy and often from your own immature desires. Now that your foundation is firm, the sound of heaven begins to echo. It will no longer be a whisper, it will be a call of trumpets. Being chosen is not just a privilege, it is a sacred responsibility. As revelation begins to burn within you, understand, carrying the light also attracts shadows. The enemy will try to distract, confuse, and discredit what God is releasing in your spirit, but you have not been prepared in vain. You have been trained to endure, to remain, to shine even when the environment seems inhospitable. You are not fighting for survival. You are fighting for manifestation. You are the spearhead that blazes a path for others who are still in the darkness. Every decision you make now will carry eternal weight. Walk with wisdom, with discernment, but most of all, with courage. You are not just awakening, you are ascending. The abundance that is coming to you is not just the fruit of human effort, it is the fruit of the silent obedience you have cultivated when no one is looking. God does not reward performance, He rewards faithfulness. Every yes whispered in the dark, every forgiveness offered without applause, every surrender made in secret has been recorded in heaven. And now the spiritual clock is ticking for the harvest. It is not just financial abundance, although that will come. It is abundance of purpose, of influence, of spiritual authority. You have been prepared to steward resources that transcend this age, to impact lives, to change atmospheres. Abundance will not just be a gift, it will be a platform for manifesting the kingdom. Get ready. The sound of blessings raining down upon your home. In every season of pain, in every desert of loneliness, there was a flame that never went out within you. It may have flickered, it may have been reduced to a thin thread of light, but it never died. This flame is the testimony that you belong to another kingdom, that you carry a mission that the earth has not yet understood. The world has tried to extinguish this light with rejections, disappointments, and betrayals. But now God breathes on this flame. The divine breath not only rekindles it, it transforms it into a bonfire that can no longer be ignored. Prepare to be seen, not out of vanity, but because the light you carry is needed for this time. Many will recognize something different in you. Do not hide. You have been called to shine, even when you tried to give up, even when you gave in to the pressures and tried to fit into the world's mold. There was a voice that continued to call your name. It was not an audible voice. It was something deeper, more ancient, echoing in the fabric of your soul. This voice did not condemn you. It did not pressure you. It simply reminded you. It reminded you that you were not ordinary. It reminded you that you had been set apart before time began. This voice is the signature of your spiritual DNA. Today, it does not just whisper, it declares. Today, this voice says, "Son, daughter, it is time. Arise. Walk in the destiny I have written for you. The time of remembrance has come. You stand before a spiritual portal. It is not made of stone or metal. It is made of choices. God places before you an invitation. Remain in the safety of the known, or step forward by faith toward what has been promised. Entering this portal will require courage to shed old identities, to break alliances with fear, to close doors that were still ajar. You will feel fear trying to disguise itself as prudence. But recognize this: faith always seems foolish to the natural eye. When God calls, He also empowers. Every step you take toward your promise will be accompanied by supernatural supply, by unseen protection, by angels released to open pathways where there were once walls. The portal is open. The choice is yours. Today, God renews the covenant He made with you in the days when you still did not understand. Perhaps you have forgotten. Perhaps you have doubted. Perhaps you have believed that time has eroded the promises. But God does not forget. He does not back down. He does not change His mind. The covenant He made with you is eternal. And at this moment, He seals it again upon your life, not as an empty oath, but as a living, pulsating activation. You will feel the weight of this renewal. You will notice that old chains will begin to break, that old fears will begin to melt away in the face of the growing light that invades your spirit. The covenant is your identity. The promise is your inheritance. The answer is your new reality. Remember, you were not called to survive. You were called to rule, to transform, to redeem forgotten spiritual territories. Every buried talent, every dormant dream, every vision abandoned out of fear or weariness. Today, the Spirit begins to resurrect. Nothing was lost. Everything was preserved until the time of activation. The purpose that burned silently within you now begins to emerge with force. You will notice that conversations will begin to change, that places that once comforted you will become too small. Do not resist. Discomfort is the sign that you are being called to a new level. You are no longer the same version of yourself that entered this journey. The memory of your purpose now becomes the compass that guides your steps. Just as light attracts attention, it also attracts resistance. Be prepared. Doubt will try to infiltrate you disguised as logic. External and internal voices will try to question what God is activating within you. It is a silent war, fought in the arena of the mind and spirit, but you have been trained for this. Every tear, every no, every closed door has strengthened your spiritual resistance. Now, when doubt comes, it will find an unshakable wall of faith. Do not allow what is temporary to steal what is eternal. Remember, if the enemy is trying to stop you now, it is because he knows what you carry. Doubt is the last breath of the old cycle, trying to prevent the birth of the new. Keep moving forward. The promise is already in sight. You carry a code. It is not visible to the natural eye, but the spiritual world recognizes it. This code is composed of everything you have endured, the choices you have made in silence, the fidelity you have maintained when no one is looking. It shines like an invisible seal, a spiritual identification that separates you from those who simply live to survive. Heaven recognizes this code. Hell fears this code. And now, this mark begins to emit a sound, a frequency that attracts everything that is aligned with your purpose and repels everything that is a distraction. You do not need to chase after what is yours. You only need to stay on the frequency of your identity. What is yours is being attracted by the code that God has activated within you. God has entrusted this revelation to you not to be debated, but to be guarded as a treasure. Not everyone will understand. Not everyone will accept. And that is okay. What is sacred should not be exposed to any environment. Protect this word as one would protect a rare seed. Let it grow in silence, strengthened by prayer, nourished by worship, guarded by spiritual vigilance. The enemy will try to steal what was planted today. But you have been warned. Do not hand this pearl over to those who do not have eyes to recognize it. Revelation is an inheritance, and inheritances are intended only for mature children. Walk with discernment. Speak only to those whom God confirms in your spirit. What has been initiated in you this day will change generations. Time around you will begin to change. Spiritual seasons do not follow human calendars. Where there was once stagnation, there will now be acceleration. What seemed to take years to happen will begin to move in days, in hours. God's grace will bring a supernatural speed to your steps. But remember, acceleration requires inner preparation. Speed without direction is destruction. That is why God is aligning not only your opportunities, but also your character, your vision, and your heart. You will not run without purpose. Every step will be intentional. Every achievement will be prophetic. You will be like an arrow shot from the hands of the Most High, hitting targets that seemed unreachable. Prepare your spirit for this redefinition of time. The clock in heaven has already marked your time. Now more than ever, you will need to stand firm in your identity. The world will try to label you with names that do not belong to you: inadequate, reckless, bigoted. But you already know your true name. You are a child of promise. You are a light bearer. You are the called one for this generation. Do not allow the passing opinions of men to erase God's eternal signature upon you. Your identity is not an achievement. It is a revelation. You do not have to prove it. You simply manifest it. Walk with your head held high, not in arrogance, but in divine consciousness. You are not just another in this crowd. You are a living answer to the prayers of generations past. You are the echo of an ancient promise, and no one can cancel what God Himself has declared about you. There are promises that you have almost forgotten, words that were released about your life that, over the years, were suffocated by the weight of circumstances. But God has not forgotten. And now, like underground rivers that suddenly burst through the arid land, these promises begin to emerge again. You will be surprised by divine reunions. Opportunities, connections, visions that you thought were lost will return to your life with new vigor. Nothing has really been lost, just hidden, waiting for the perfect time. Prepare your heart to receive that which seemed to have died. Prepare your faith to see that which you had already buried. The time of reunion has come, and you will see with your own eyes God's faithfulness restoring old dreams and transforming them into realities even greater than you imagined. You have been prepared for this time, this hour, this season. The glory of God that will rest upon your life will be undeniable. Not because you sought glory for yourself, but because you allowed God to shape your story in silence. Now, the manifestation will not only be spiritual, it will be visible. Doors that were once locked will open before you effortlessly. People will be drawn to the presence you carry. Environments will be transformed by your mere presence. You are a bearer of glory, an ambassador of the kingdom, a living witness that God still keeps His promises. Hide no longer. Do not dim your light to comfort those who prefer darkness. The manifestation has already begun, and the world will recognize God has been with you all along. Your life will begin to speak louder than any words you can utter. The brightness in your eyes, the peace in your presence, the wisdom in your decisions will be silent witnesses of what God has done within you. You will not need to justify yourself. You will not need to explain yourself. The fruit of your transformation will be visible, and many will come to you seeking answers, seeking light, seeking hope. Prepare yourself to be a house of refuge for weary souls, to be a source of comfort for afflicted hearts. God shaped you not only to survive, but to be a shelter, to be a bridge, to be a beacon, and without you realizing it, you will be fulfilling the purpose for which you were silently prepared for so many years. In this new journey, God will send people who walk in the same spirit as you. They will recognize your light because they carry the same divine spark. These will be holy alliances, destined alliances, alliances forged by the Spirit itself. You will not need to force connections or beg for acceptance. The attraction will be spiritual, inevitable, indestructible. Together, you will form communities of revival, spiritual families, armies of light in the midst of darkness. The time of loneliness is coming to an end. The time of isolation fulfills its purpose. Now is the time of convergence. The chosen ones begin to meet, to recognize each other, to unite to manifest the kingdom on earth. Prepare your heart for new friendships that are, in truth, reunions of souls. Before the fullness of the promise is revealed, God calls you to one final act of a consecration, not as a demand, but as a response of love. It is time to surrender once and for all every trace of fear, every root of bitterness, every shadow of unbelief. It is time to strip off the garments of the past and put on the new garments of redeemed identity. This consecration is the final seal, the touch of fire that confirms your passage into a new spiritual dimension. It is not something the natural eye will see, but in the unseen world, your transformation will resound like thunder. You will be recognized, honored, and upheld by heaven itself. God will not only walk with you, He will manifest His presence through you. What is coming now is not just a season of blessings, it is an era of fulfillment. You will see abundance in every area, emotional, spiritual, material. But more than that, you will carry a sense of purpose so strong, so clear, so unshakable, that nothing can divert you. The promises God has made, the visions He has shown you, the whispers you have heard in the midst of pain, they will all align before your eyes. You will see doors open effortlessly. You will see battles won before you even raise your voice, because now it is God who fights for you. Now is the time for fulfillment, the time to live, not just survive. The time to reign, not just resist. If this word has resonated with you, do not ignore this call. Subscribe now to the Chosen Signal channel. Turn on notifications and share this message with all those who, like you, feel that they have been silently prepared for something greater. Leave a comment below saying, "I recognize my calling." This is more than a comment. It is a prophetic decree. You have not been forgotten. You have been chosen. You are not awakening. You are remembering. This is the beginning of a new era in your life. Welcome to the time of manifestation.